Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Radha Nata Radha Radha Nata Radhe Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Gaurari 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 Jaya Gaurari Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Shri Shri Radha Radhanath Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaur Premanande Hare Krishna. So we continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 11, and Chapter 11 and Text 11. Yeah, Text 11. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 11. Text 11, chapter entitled Swayambhava Manu advises Dhruva Maharaj. Sarva bhutatma bhavena bhuta vasam harim bhavan Aradhyapa duraradhyam Vishnustat paramam padam Sarva bhutatma bhavena bhuta vasam harim bhavan Aradhyapa duraradhyam Vishnustat paramam padam Sarva bhutatma bhavena bhuta vasam harim bhavan Aradhyapa duraradhyam Vishnustat paramam padam. Sarva bhutatma bhavena bhuta vasam harim bhavan Aradhyapa duraradhyam Vishnustat paramam padam Sarva bhutatma bhavena harim bhavan Aradhyapa duraradhyam Vishnustat paramam padam Sarva bhutatma bhavena bhuta vasam harim bhavan Aradhyapa duraradhyam Vishnustat paramam padam Sarva bhutatma bhavena bhuta vasam harim bhavan Aradhyapa duraradhyam Vishnustat paramam padam Sarva bhutatma bhavena bhuta vasam harim bhavan Aradhyapa duraradhyam Vishnustat paramam padam Sarva bhutatma bhavena bhuta vasam harim bhavan Aradhyapa duraradhyam Vishnustat paramam padam Sarva Bhuta, in all living entities, Atma, upon the Supersoul, Bhavena, with meditation, Bhuta, of all existence, Avasam, the abode, Harim, Lord Hari, Bhavan, you, Aradhya, by worshipping, Apa, have achieved, Duradhyam, very difficult to propitiate, Vishnu, of Lord Vishnu, Tat, that, Paramam, supreme, Padam, situation. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. It is very difficult to achieve the spiritual abode of Hari. It is very difficult to achieve the spiritual abode of Hari in the Vaikuntha planets. But you are so fortunate that you are already destined to go to that abode by worshipping Him as the supreme abode of all living entities. Okay. It is very difficult to achieve the spiritual abode of Hari in the Vaikuntha planets. But you are so fortunate that you are already destined to go to that abode by worshipping Him as a supreme abode of all living entities. Purport. The material bodies of all living entities cannot exist unless sheltered by the spirit soul and the super soul. The spirit soul is dependent on the super soul, who is present even within the atom. Therefore, since anything material or spiritual is completely dependent on the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Lord is referred to here as Bhuta Vasa. Dhruva Maharaj, as a Kshatriya, could have argued with his grandfather Manu when Manu requested him to stop fighting. But even though Dhruva Maharaj could have argued that as a Kshatriya it was his duty to fight with the enemy, he was informed that since every living entity is a residence of the Supreme Lord and can be considered a temple of the Lord, the unnecessary killing of any living entity is not permitted. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Caitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Darati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantarada Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hare Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyo Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachadeshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we continue reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, and we are at the point where Swayambhuva Manu advises Dhruva Maharaj to stop fighting, because Dhruva Maharaj was relentlessly killing the yakshas, like uncontrollably. He was just basically he was slaughtering them by thousands. Just imagine, he was so ecstatic that his grandfather Swayambhuva Manu had to come and tell him, "Hey, stop, you're going over the limit." So the translation, it is very difficult to achieve the spiritual abode of Hari in the Vaikuntha planets. But you are so fortunate that you are already destined to go to that abode by worshipping Him as a supreme abode of all living entities. So in the beginning, Prabhupada speaks about the Lord being situated in everyone's heart. But this is actually a verse from the Bhagavad Gita. Who knows that verse? The material bodies of all living entities cannot exist unless sheltered by the supreme spirit soul, by the spirit soul and the super soul. The spirit soul is dependent on the super soul, who is present even within the atom. Therefore, since anything material or spiritual is completely dependent on the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Lord is referred to as Bhutashva. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Riddesha Arjuna Tistati Brahmayam Sarva Bhutani Yantra Rudrani Mayaya. In that Krishna says that the Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart as a super soul, and He is directing the wanderings of all the living entities who are situated in this yantra, this material body, which is made out of the material energy. So Krishna is there within all the living entities' hearts, and He is directing their wanderings, even if they want to do material activities or mundane activities, or even if they want to come to Him, He is there directing them. Like in the case of Ajamila, Prabhupada explains that Ajamila must have been engaged in some sort of sinful activity in his previous life to be attracted to the sinful activity, that even though he was practicing as a Brahmana, Vaishnava, he was still attracted to the lower modes of material nature by observing the prostitute and the drunken man. He felt there was a need to go back to that. So how was this situation brought before him? It was the Lord within the heart, Prabhupada explains, that made that situation. So Ajamila, even though you're situated in the mode of goodness, but because engaging in the mode of ignorance and passion in his previous life, he was still attracted to it. So this is very important, that we have a desire to go back home, back to Godhead. Because it is explained that sadhana bhakti can take thousands of lifetimes, or it can even take a moment. Like, Prabhupada has asked, how long does it take to become perfect in Australia? What was his reply? His reply is, what kind of a question is this? Aren't you reading the Bhagavad Gita? What Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita? And he quotes the verse, Sarva dharmam parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha yasyami ma sucha. That's the first verse we learn when we come to Krishna consciousness. Everybody knows that verse, right? So Prabhupada says that you can become perfect in a moment, you can become purified. That all depends on your realizations and your understanding. and your eagerness to actually become Krishna consciousness. Because Krishna is in the heart, and He's directing the wanderings of all living entities. If you want to do sinful activity, Krishna will show you where to go. He'll show you how to get the whatever thing on your phone or on your laptop. He'll show you how to do it. He'll direct you. He'll give you the intelligence. If you want to come back to Him, He'll teach you. He'll teach you by reading the purports of Srila Prabhupada how to understand it. He'll teach you. If you want to become perfect, you don't need an alarm to wake you up. The Lord will, it's like me, I actually set an alarm every morning. But naturally the clock within wakes up before the alarm wakes me up. Naturally, that is the super soul. That is Krishna directing you. Hey, time to wake up. Go for Mangal Arati. This is how we perfect our lives. There are so much of problems within the world. All the problems is because we are forgetful of Krishna. Prabhupada said that the solution to all the problems of the world is Krishna consciousness. And the reason for all the problems of the world is due to the lack of Krishna consciousness. So you hear so much of problems, amongst even the Vaishnavas, the quarrels, the divisions. All these things is due to lack of Krishna consciousness even. So the only solution to the problems is that we become Krishna conscious. You become enthusiastic in the kirtans. You become enthusiastic in hearing about Krishna. Because Krishna will empower us. And this empowerment is actually collective. It is not an individual thing that one becomes advanced. And there's a community of devotees, we all advance together. Jai Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki, Shri Caitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Giriraj Govardhan ki, Shri Srila Prabhupada ki. So the actual advancement in the Vaishnava or the community of devotees is actually collective. It is not that one advances by himself. It's actually collective. Because we all hearing Srimad Bhagavatam together. We all may have different capacity to absorb, and we all have different levels of determination. But the advancement is there. Advancement is there because some of us are much more stronger than the other. But still, we have to help each other. Prabhupada explains, or Srila Rupa Goswami also explains how we can advance in Krishna consciousness. He tells you how to associate amongst devotees. And even those who are not actually practicing Krishna consciousness, and those who are envious in the nectar of instruction. You have to serve the advanced devotees, right? Those who are your equals, you make friendship with them. Those who are innocent, you help them come to Krishna. And those who are envious, you avoid them. So this is how we make progress. It's not that everyone is equal. Everyone is not equal. Some are more advanced than the other. Transcendentally, everyone is spirit soul. But still, because we are contaminated by different degrees of lust, we actually find ourselves struggling like that. So we have to help. The only way you can help is by helping the person who is below you to come up. And then from where you are pulled by the other Vaishnava to the higher platform. That Vaishnava goes to the next step. So it's like steps you go in. So Krishna is in the heart and He's directing us. He's directing us. He is helping us to come for Mangal Arati. Even like I'm actually speaking here. But the ability to speak or glorify Krishna comes from Krishna. So credit must be given to where it's due. As all surrender unto me, I award them accordingly. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Kunti. So everything we do, it actually, the empowerment comes from Krishna. So when you are given a particular service to do, never say, I can't do it. Because that empowerment comes from Krishna. And it actually comes through parampara. That's why we first worship the spiritual master. Because we are not, even if you are very advanced in Krishna consciousness, still you are worshipping spiritual master. Even in the spiritual world, there are other advanced Vaishnavas who you have to serve, who are serving the next Vaishnava, who ultimately comes to Krishna. So Krishna will receive the service through parampara. Like you see, even if we worship in the Lord on the altar, next to Prabhupada you'll see is your spiritual master's picture. So the worship is going like that. Through the spiritual master, through Srila Prabhupada, through his spiritual master, like that. Ultimately, coming to Lord Krishna. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath. It is very difficult to achieve the spiritual abode of Hari in the Vaikuntha planets. But you are so fortunate that you are already destined to go to the abode by worshipping Him as the supreme abode of all living entities. This is quite interesting. This is very interesting that Dhruva Maharaj was basically killing relentlessly. Even the innocent yakshas were being killed by him. That Swayambhuva Manu had to come and stop him. He said, hey, wait a minute, you are going over the board now. More than enough. Even these guys never do anything, you're killing them. So like that. But Dhruva Maharaj was actually a pure devotee because it's explained here. The Vaikuntha is very difficult to achieve, but he says you are already destined to go there. So you'll find that even the advanced Vaishnavas also need guidance from their superiors. No matter how advanced you become, you're always going to need help from another superior Vaishnava. So we are never too big. There's always someone bigger than you. We were told this, when we were in school, because there were guys, bullying the small boy. And the small boys will tell you, wait, meet your Moses. The Moses is always there. We are never too big. It says we are very tiny. And they said, to enter into the spiritual kingdom of God, you have to assume that form which is very tiny, because back to God the door is very small, they said. So it is said in the Bible, the kingdom of God, the doors are open for the humble and the meek. So we have to become enthusiastic to actually go back to Godhead, right? That's one. Okay, so there's another verse that is actually connected to this verse in the Bhagavad Gita, Manusyanam Sahasreshu. Yaschid Yati Kaschid Yata. Yeah. Basically, as among many thousand among men, one may endeavor for perfection. And out of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Right? So, even among those who actually endeavor to go or to attain some, or to go through some spiritual process, very little understand that they have to become Krishna conscious devotees. And even amongst those who have taken to Krishna consciousness, very few have the determination and the eagerness to go back to Godhead. Right? That's a fact, right? Very few are enthusiastic in Krishna consciousness, because devotional service supposed to be performed ecstatically. It's ecstatic devotional service. But this can only come about when one is determined and eager to perform his sadhana, as Rupa Goswami in his Nectar of Devotion and Nectar of Instruction instructs us. You follow those books there, you will attain perfection very fast. It all depends on our determination and our association. What's the verse from this Bhagavatam about the association of the Vaishnavas? What's it? Satam prasanta mama virya samvido. Satam prasanga mama virya samvido. How it goes? Sorry? Bhavanti rit karna rasayana katha. So basically this verse says that associating with the Vaishnava, devotees of the Lord, one discuss the pastimes and activities of Krishna. And upon discussing amongst the Vaishnavas, or the pure Vaishnavas, the activities and the pastimes of Krishna, there's two things that happens. That the heart and the hearing is affected, right? And then one becomes satisfied. And the other one is, there is attraction, is rati, becomes fixed. And then only real devotional service takes place. So it's that you are employed in the process of devotional service, but it's not going to happen just like that. You have to perform sadhana, following the rules and regulations according to the Shastra. It's not that I mean, all these things are there. You smell the flowers offered to the Lord, you smell the incense, you offer obeisances, you get the flower garland that is offered to the Lord. This is there. You will make spiritual advancement. By these acts, you will eventually go back to Godhead. But the speed and the urgency has to be there. Otherwise, you can make the process of going back to Godhead to be thousands of lifetimes. Or it can be in this one lifetime. Within this body, you can have transcendental realization. You can be with Krishna now. Or we can take many, many lifetimes to attain the perfection. Rupa Goswami says, we must have had practice in our previous life to have an attraction to devotional service in this lifetime. But Prabhupada says, but even if you didn't have any association of the Vaishnavas or any thing with Krishna conscious activities in your previous life, still if you have the opportunity in this lifetime, grab it. Because you never know when the opportunity will arise again. So now, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we all have the association of the devotees. When you look around you, you'll see Vaishnavas who are trying to practice Krishna consciousness. They're not ordinary. Even it is explained in the scriptures that you see anyone with a Vaishnav tilak, dhoti, kurta, you are reminded of Krishna. Myself and Raghunath Bhatta have been walking for hours. We start in the morning and sometimes we finish off late in the night, meeting people, discussing about Krishna. We actually, this verse is actually in connection with our activities. When you are searching for souls to become Krishna consciousness, Krishna from within the heart directs. That's what they say. Book distribution is the easiest way to communicate with Krishna, because it's not the easiest service to do. It's the most, for me, making sweets or cooking is much more difficult. But for a lot of people, book distribution may be very daunting, right? But although I have a speech problem, but I like going out and distributing, because when I'm distributing books, these things don't affect me. So it's there. And we were looking for someone, but we don't know where he stayed. We don't know his address. But we told you are staying in Tongat. And the area in Tongat was actually given to us, but we didn't know his address. So Raghunath Bhatta, yesterday, he took out his cartels and he started chanting on the road. Because he said, if that guy comes out, then we know it's him. So he started chanting. I had the mridanga, I had like 4 bags, because somebody gave us fruits. I had the books on one bag and he had his laptop and everything. And so we started chanting. And we stopped outside one house. And we closed our eyes and we were just chanting and loud. So one guy from the house came out. Raghunath Bhatta Prabhu went to him. He gave us 100 rand, right? And you gave him few books and you spoke to him nicely. And then you asked him about the person who we are looking for. And the guy says, he stayed few houses away. And we didn't have an idea where the person stayed. So I was thinking to myself, hey, this is Krishna's intervention. This is the Lord, because we had a sincere desire to give something to the person. So this person, his wife committed suicide when she was young. She was 36 years old. His daughter took his gun, shot herself after the mother died. His son stabbed 36 times while he was asleep by the workers. 36 times. So this guy, he was somehow in relation with the Vaishnavas. But he asked us one question, because when we went to his house, he just walked out the house and he came straight to us, you're smoking. And he asked Raghunath Bhatta, what are you all doing here? So you told him, no, we just traveling from one place to the other. This is what we do. We are sadhus, so we want to give Krishna to everybody. So the man said, oh really? And then you told him, we was up the road and we met a person. He said that your son was murdered. So we felt very hard, so and we actually came to speak to you. And the guy says, yeah, my son was brutally murdered. He said 36 times he was stabbed. And he said he was also stabbed, but he also survived. Then we told him, can we come inside your house? We can sit and chant with you. We sat in his house. We chanted like for more than an hour. The man fell off to sleep while he was recording us. His phone was going like that, and he was waking up. And each time he was waking up, we were still chanting. It was so amazing that the chanting was so nice that we didn't want to stop chanting. So he went in such a deep sleep that he wasn't waking up, so we hit the mridanga. Then he woke up, then we started talking, but he says, why did Krishna allow that to happen? Why did Krishna allow that to happen? Why my son, if he had to die, why not die, in another way? Why he had to be murdered like that? So you told him, karma is very intricate to understand. And we cannot say anything, only Krishna knows. But we have to accept these things. We have to accept it. This is Krishna's plan, and whatever we do. Then you inspired him to chant. The man was eating chicken and fish. You even inspired him to stop that. And then he went in his room and he brought 1,000 rand and he gave us. And then we told him, in the future you'll give more. And then we told him, you get 300 people to give 1,000 rand, it's 300,000 rand. So the guy said, I'm going to get, he says, I'm going to try. Right? He says he's going to try and get 300 people to give 1,000 rand, it's 300,000 rand. Give this to Krishna because you can. He has. The guy owns a farm or something, right? And he owns trucks. So somehow we want to connect these people to Krishna. People are going through immense struggle, difficulty. We were in Richards Bay last week. We were walking. Everybody was telling us no. We went into one place, white guy, Burman, traditional Burman. So he started complaining to us. He says, hey, who's running the country? Who's running the country? Eh? Then he started talking about Zimbabwe and this and that. We said, yeah. So we were always the in-between guys here. We were always in between. You guys continue with your fighting, but we were always in between. But we always here to make peace. Right? Because that's, we come with a culture, philosophy that's coming from India, and this culture is always to bring about peace in human society. But like, I got my own religion. We are, So he says, we are Christians, we follow him. He says, no, that's very good, that's very great. I think you left, the guy was still going on, speaking to me. I'm trying to leave, but he's still talking. But anyway, we got him, because he actually touched the book. And when he touched the book, I said, no, your material life is also numbered, because Prabhupada says if a person even touches the book, you get the person to touch the book and his spiritual life begins. Right? Then we were walking, when we came through Audi. Audi is a car shop, right? And the one guy that actually spoke to us, he was so much interested in what we are speaking. But the other guy who came after that, he took the Science of Self-Realization. While we were speaking to this guy, it took like half an hour. That guy was reading the book for half an hour. So that was amazing. And they even took the book, Science of Self-Realization. So you see, we have to create the good fortune of others as our good fortune was created by another Vaishnava. In my case, it was Chandrakanta Prabhu and Rohini Nandan Prabhu. These are the two great souls that have saved me from my imminent destruction. And now I'm continuing by their mercy and all of your mercy. I'm still continuing practicing Krishna consciousness with determination. Hare Krishna. So please give this good fortune to others. They need it. Kali Yuga is fast progressing. Right? Are there any comments or questions, corrections? Moiteri.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the wonderful class, and especially the Sankirtan stories. It's very inspirational. And you're talking about the super soul within the heart. Krishna has a super soul within the heart. And yes, he does guide you from within also. And it's amazing, how Krishna, he basically instructs you from within. And we have many experiences of this. And sometimes you may not even know, people may not know that Krishna led them here. And they'll say, I don't know what made me come to the temple. But it's actually Krishna who is directing the wanderings of the living entity for them to come to the temple and to surrender their lives. So thank you very much for that. Hare Krishna.
Haribo, thank you. Yeah, that's true. I remember His Holiness Karamakanana Maharaj. He once said, there is not by chance any soul comes to this place is not by chance, it's by the Lord's intervention that He directs them to come to a temple of Vishnu, which many, many lifetimes they've been wandering in the universe. And if they come to the temple of Vishnu, Bhakti Yoga is actually happening within the temple amongst the devotees. They're smelling the remnants of the flowers, the aroma of the prasadam, the obeisances that they will offer, pranams. They put their hands together. When I first came to this temple, I checked the guys offering obeisances in this angle and that angle. And I was thinking, what is this? Because we come from a place where you offer obeisances straight. You know? And so that was a bit strange to me, but I just did what they were doing, even though I didn't know. But the Lord accepts all of these things. Yeah, that's a good point. That Krishna is directing our wanderings. When you are desiring to serve Maya, Krishna will direct you, He'll give you the intelligence, He'll give you all the knowledge how to fall. If you want to serve Him, He'll direct you how to be successful, how to perform devotional service with enthusiasm, with eagerness, with determination. We have to grow like that. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.